Hello everybody and welcome back to ENCE taking on NIP. We are here for map number 2 with NIP having that one map lead. Moving into Overpass, we know this is their map pick, and the previous time these two teams faced, it was a 16-4. NIP ENCE will no doubt have looked to improve since then, and we see them pushing down towards B early on, getting control in water and spotting absolutely nobody. Now it's all about connector control, which will also go their way, and with that, we should see a fairly heavy presence towards that A bomb site as NIP look to take it with a primarily long take early on, and now they're going in to clear out toilets just as connectors being sieged by ENCE.
Oh.
Never mind.
That's a bit of an issue. I was going to say they have solid positions here with the ability to flank up on if it was going to be an A push as well. Obviously, that one player who pushed deep through connector could still be a nuisance, but he's going for the A flank, and at the moment, they're bringing this back down through connector. Still could really go anywhere with it, and as I say that, they do again begin to shift their focus back, but they've actually sold out Aerial at this point, as he just made his way back into connector, so he's going to be a little bit longer on the flank, leaving just the two players now. Make that actually only one initially towards this bomb site to defend. X7 already dinked up, actually gets himself a kill, and a second. Looking for some more, won't be able to, but he put up a very solid effort indeed. But it has still led to a position where Aerial has to step up massively, and he will answer the call. It's a 1-on-2 now for Knock. At this point, flanking around over towards that player on steps, looking for the 1v1, which will work out successfully. But he has to try and retrieve this bomb, and up against the USP at long range, it's hard. But he had one of his own. Knock comes out on top of it. 3 kills for him in total in that round. But that was extremely back and forth.
And picking up the pistol round, though, for NIP grants them again that little bit of momentum, the little push forward. But will ENCE go in for a force buy? I mean, they've definitely got the possibility to do it. The economy's looking okay for them. We saw it over on train, but this time they go for a much more passive situation, not feeling as confident in their pistol play as they were on train. This is fine. They can get a full buy up. Coming into the next round, they'll look decent enough. You'll be lacking head armor for the most part, but NIP coming in with AKs. As long as you can get 1 or 2 kills here, I think it's a fairly positive round. Realistically, 2 kills would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, even then, that's a bit of a tough one. Even if they get 1, I think they'll be like, they'd be fairly happy about it. But when you get 2 kills, is when you really do actually start causing that economic damage, of course. And ideally, they just don't want to be falling to these 2 SMGs that are in play right now. They don't want to be propping up the economy of Twist and Plopsky early on. Kind of surprising they didn't give one of the SMGs over to Knock, so he could try and build his bank up. But right now, he's actually going to find quite a few players pushing outside of B, so he may still have a chance to add a few kills. 300 per kill, of course, with the Galil can still be a considerable amount if you're getting a few players, but there's 4 of them actually pushing him down right now, so he is going to be quickly overwhelmed. The Galil now being picked up by X7, and they're going to try and hunt this player who's fallen back into mid. Realizing going through the smoke wouldn't be that great of an idea, instead going to group up in connector. Obviously, they've lost the bomb site. The bomb's going to be planted, so their chances of winning the round aren't looking too good, but they have a good opportunity to try and get 1 or maybe even 2 more kills with this.
The UMP only good for the double, and that's ENCE already clocking up a pretty decent round. The Galil saved, the UMP as well. But the players on low HP, I don't expect them to go in for any further aggression, although you could argue, obviously, Aerial's USP doesn't serve a large purpose for them. Simply saving them forward avoids giving NIP another kill on their Mach 10, for example. Moving in towards the B site quite quickly, and I can't help but think it looks like they're going for another exit, and it's Twist that they'll face. He's got the Mach 10, and there's a kill onto Aerial, granting the frag, plus losing their UMP. That doesn't seem like a very worthwhile risk.
No, I'm guessing he didn't realize that he was going to be going onto the bomb. I wasn't really sure either. Didn't have Kevlar though, obviously, so extra damage being done. He does fall. The SMG isn't saved over. I guess his goal there was to get that 1 kill with the UMP. If he had of, then adding another 600 to his buy here would have really helped out, because obviously he could have gone for the nade and a flash if he wanted, and or else maybe even pulled out himself a kit and a flash alongside the Molotov and the smoke. So it definitely would have helped them out a bit. I don't think it's the biggest deal since they are looking to just come onto the full rifle buy, which is the case. They have the Galil helping out a little bit. But this round here is also one that NIP could use to really begin to build up this lead massively early on. They've kept the 1 Mach 10 on Lekro. They're looking to favor on towards B. And it does seem like a little bit of a read is definitely being had here for ENCE, because they were able to get aggressive around mid early on. They didn't spot anyone out. They've got 3 players back towards B already. Almost getting caught. She's going for the boost, and it does cost them in the end. B is just gone. That's a save. Right now, that save has to be called for. I don't want to see anyone pressing W if it's in the direction of that B bomb site.
They lined up for knock as well because they'd been boosted as the player on top fell back. They were perfectly in line. Lekro came around the corner to finish one off with the Mac 10, which is even better, getting that extra little bit of cash. Now upgrading to an M4 and an overwhelmingly positive start for NIP in this round. ENCE caught with their pants down on that B side. Man, oh man, this is not how you wanted it to start out for ENCE. After such a close train, we saw NIP obviously being confident enough on that map, but we know that Overpass is where they come in with a big advantage. And the reason that coming into the start of this series we're saying NIP are the favored team is because if you look at this situation realistically, just obviously there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know how much ENCE have practiced this map since they last played, how much they've looked over the demo or over NIP's previous Overpasses, yada yada. But just from what we do know, ENCE would have to win the first map and the third map. Overpass is a hugely favored one for NIP. Whereas when you look at Train, it's not insanely favored towards ENCE. We saw NIP put up a good fight in it last time. We know they're capable of playing it. The final map of Inferno serves as a mid-ground, so NIP have got that upper hand in the veto, which is why, even outside of recent results, you would give them the upper hand in the game.
Alright, Erez. Right through the flame. Doesn't care, apparently. He actually still gets the kill. A little bit risky if he had it went down. Potentially, there could have been a rifle. His teammates, though, did quickly extinguish those flames so that they could try and follow up and be sure to actually help him now. What the hell? Alu able to get two. Sunny and Sergey fragging as well. Suddenly, Twist is left alone. That was a very quick turnaround there from ENCE, and it was the damage that had been done. Rez was already really low. A couple players got dinked up quickly as well, and then they all just came in and peeked together and just mowed them down. Twist has backed away. Is running over towards A, and I mean, if he finds this player up close and long, it's Alu who's already tagged up, so there's definitely a chance for him to win this 1v1 and then get the bomb planted, especially if he can do it clean without losing any health. Then he should have a very good opportunity to play with that 1-on-2. Oh, but Alu, he's taking a strong spot, at least playing up close. It may not be expected. Oh, looking like he will check it. Unfortunately, not quick enough with the reactions. A first round being found from ENCE, a really good round for them to pick up as well, considering they had very little investment. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough one for Nip. They can rebuy at least. I was gonna say, I was gonna agree with your point, obviously, of this one not being a great map for ENCE, and I still do agree with that. I was gonna say, at this point, I'm not even religious, but I'm gonna pray for them, because, as you said, it was Train that they needed to pick up. It's Inferno as well, then, that I was thinking that they would have had the chance to close the series out on. Coming into this one, we were saying, okay, yeah, Overpass is gonna be quite straightforward. But, I mean, if ENCE can step up like that, then who knows? They can definitely put up a fight, potentially prove us wrong, and show us a map number 3 where they'll be back in the running to get that win for themselves. But they have to overcome another actual gun round here. No op this time for Nip, but they do have the rifles, plenty of nades.
Now, 4 mollies still in play with the 1 minute 20 on the clock. NIP have got a bit of control down towards the connector, and they'll look to split up towards A based on that bomb position. Alu has fallen back to the bomb site after an early long hold, and this is something we've seen from ENCE in the previous time these guys played. Alu holding on the corner, you've got Sergey up close. With no flashes left, it's unlikely on Alu, it's unlikely Sergey goes out for any wider peeks in towards long, or at least that would be a risk. Probably not worth taking, but as Alu spots them, now he can start to edge up and look to hunt them down. Nobody peeks out afterwards. There's always the possibility that NIP are currently falling back. And a rotate even coming up towards this A bomb site. Nip have been read like a book. They're going to be in trouble as they move forward with Sunny and Alu holding the site, and Sergey still undetected on long.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for them to overcome. Okay, that was a quick headshot from Rez. Fortunately, that long player, as you said, fighting up close, is able to get one. Not really expecting Sunny to still be around the bomb site either after already dealing with a player, so he's able to actually delay that bomb plant for quite a few seconds, but it is going to eventually go down. That's a really nice Molotov. Lekro ends up going down to 26. This is given just so much time for ENCE to set themselves up. I mean, there's only 8 seconds left on the clock. They have to try and get that bomb down, and it's pretty much no longer possible. It's not at this point. Gonna push in for the kill and see if he can stay alive, but Knock, unfortunately, not able to live. Goes down to X7. Another round goes over to ENCE, and they had a very good read there, having that 3-man A stack, and Nip just had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, they show themselves early on long, right? And then nothing else afterwards. ENCE in that position could easily take that to B, movement back into connector, down maybe to B, but they take the gamble. with a little bit of control they had down towards that B bomb site, that this was going to be NIP hitting the A side, and it pays off tenfold, even with Sunny only finding 1 kill and being traded out immediately afterwards. See, they closed it out with relative ease. Great nades as well coming down here. NIP have already lost 1 player to Aerial, a second. And sadly, he's taken it afterwards, but it is only the UMP, so it's not the worst to give over towards that T side. In fact, you'll see Nox still playing with the Deagle.
Yeah, no longer. Quickly dropped by X7, trying to ensure that there's not going to really be too much damage that NIP can output in this round. Not having a lot of investment. If they do get 1 more kill, I think they'd be pretty happy, but it's already false. Plotski with his Deagle looking to see if he could follow up, and there certainly was the opportunity there as Sergey had to fire off a few bullets before getting the headshot himself, but he's able to live, as are the majority of the ENCE players, meaning only Aerial has to reinvest here and has plenty of money to do so. Not really having any left over, but overall the economy is beginning to look pretty strong for ENCE, so this is a solid start. This isn't really what I was expecting, and it kind of comes down to that round where NIP, knowing they were up against a weaker investment, decided rushing through a Molotov towards Monster was a good idea. I do still think that was a pretty big misplay, but I mean, they're back on the buy here at least. They have Galil being the only real weakness, apart from maybe Rez lacking some nades, but overall this is a decent investment, and they need to start picking it up again.
A good nade here by Sergey. He's been on point with them, although only doing a little bit of damage. It did look like it would do a whole bunch more. Counter-strike and nades, what can you do? And ENCE are going to be very happy to find those early rounds. I mean, building up to a 3-3 scoreline is fantastic for them. You can see the confidence already oozing out as they start to go in for a long push here on A. Be facing a challenge in a moment. Rez was looking to swing out, or was looking like he might swing out onto long, but Flash just got him over towards toilets where he's spotting out on the top of middle. Bomb left behind, and NIP being much more cautious in this round than what we've seen from them in certainly their anti-eco. But with that bomb being retrieved in just a second by Nock, it is looking to be an A hit. But again, zero information, 40 seconds left. They do have to start making a move forward. They've only got 1 smoke to push into this side as well. Things are not looking good for them, and this fight on long shouldn't go the way of Twist. Oh, but hold on. Sergey's pushing by himself. This could be very dangerous, and Twist wins the duel.
Spots the second player there as well with that jump. I mean, they had a very good setup playing the anti-flash initially, but as you said, the push coming in, it's given a potential opportunity for NIP to open up that bomb site. Again, though, it's Alu who steps up when it's needed, finds himself the double kill, but unfortunately, as they lose that long player, as Alu goes down as well, the chances begin to fall. But look at that from Aerial, a massive double, and it's all onto Twist. They know where he is. X7 just pops up and ends this round. Again, very, very back and forth right up until the last moment, but ENCE just about managed to scrape it out in their favor. And they're looking better here on Overpass than I thought they were going to. I mean, this is a very solid start. I feel like that eco win that they were able to get to actually pick up their first round is kind of put some fire under them, I suppose.
Definitely put them on the map anyways. I mean, for NIP giving that away, it's got to be a little bit of a tilting factor, but just where their economy has been at since then hasn't been ideal. They got the 1 buy, and then they're constantly suffering. You saw, as they push towards the bomb site there, 40 seconds left, 0 information, and 1 smoke. It's not the way you want to be executing. You can't even call that an execute, can you? Blocking off 1 angle and pushing a site. And at the end of the day, ENCE now have got that momentum built up. They're starting to get their confidence. When you come in onto a map where you were previously demolished, they've already got as many rounds as they did last time they played NIP here. And then you're granted these rounds. You win ecos. I mean, we all know it ourselves from winning those rounds when you have just pistols in play that you know you shouldn't be winning. And when you find those, oh, that is an absolute... As you said, it lights a fire under you. It puts you ahead. You're in first gear. You're ready to roll. And ENCE certainly have been rolling so far. Facing up against a full buy again, but still NIP suffering from the lack of money with very limited utility.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded if they were willing to maybe just take a half buy and ensure that they'd be coming into a strong win in the next, get the op-out and such for Nock, but again, they have the basics that they need to work with here with them so far. They've been keeping these rounds at least close time and time again, but I mean, ENCE have got themselves into the lead. They're looking pretty decent overall. They're starting to build up some money, and if they are able to win out this round, then at that point, NIP without a bomb plant at least would have to take the eco that time around. So let's see. I mean, they're looking to try and focus around mid. We have a relatively aggressive stance from the CTs, to be fair. The smoke is down towards the bathrooms, so Sergey isn't really going to look to stick around and fight this for too long. Instead, taking a slightly more passive angle, and you also see the player who was up close on long also falling back. That'd been Alu with the op. He was just hoping to find one and then retreat, but realizing at that point, obviously, that they could have got through bathrooms. So I would say a slightly better setup. They can help each other now off of this one, but still, Sergey, he's about to be peaked, and at least immediately there's not going to be a chance for that follow-up from Alu. Will eventually jump up and spot them as they come out of the bathrooms. A nice peek to take down Lekro. Knows the second has managed to make his way around the flames as well, but now he's being pushed down on long, but he's still managing to find the frags and actually just sprints back out. I don't know what that was exactly, but they still have a man advantage at least.
They push out, though. The Galil of Rez connecting quite a bit of damage. He's stuck behind default. In comes Twist for one. He's got time to play with. Low HP on Sunny. Heads up. Nice gap in that smoke. Sunny pushing forward. Shouldn't be good in that duel. He gets taken down. The bomb being stuck, though, and Twist doesn't suspect it. Big brain plays by Ariel, and 5-3, and op saved as well. What a round to win.
Yeah, it was a nice try, but at that point he kind of just had to take the gamble that they were not going to be sticking at that. As soon as he got that first kill, that he would have hopped off the bomb. Wasn't the case. Balls of steel from Ariel. As you said as well, the op being saved over for Alu, also a nice find. Helps them to actually grow the economy a little bit, considering it did only come down to one player surviving. They didn't really get a chance to. But the bomb plant came down for NIP, so they're able to get another buy-in. But again, I mean, ENCE, they're surprising me with this performance on Overpass, and I suppose it does make some sense. As we said, the fact that they let it through in the series, you'd hope that they had put a good bit of time actually preparing this one, realizing that it very likely was going to be in play.
Alu's been on fire in the previous map, and he starts it out the same in this one. Good flick by Sergey, straight onto the head of Plopsky. And this is getting worrying now. Trades even coming in whenever they do find a kill. NIP behind by quite a bit in this round, and as the bomb is retrieved, where can it possibly go? They have no access to any part of this map. They're going to have to pop off with some really solid duels. Smoke, 2 flashes, and a molly, all that remain for this 2v4.
I don't fancy their chances. Especially with Lekro already being tagged up. Smoke down to replenish the one that was towards Monster as well, so running down even further on the clock at this point. I mean, it's not completely against them, but once they do go forward, there's already X7 and Sunny up. That was a weird one out of Monster, though. I'm really not sure how Knock managed to get that kill. X7 took quite a while to react. Not really costing them too much, though. Again, the time just continues to go down. A Molotov as well now being put in place. There's still a little bit of utility. There's a smoke for Sunny, actually. He's rotated back around, though, so I don't think he can really put that down towards Monster. He will flash in, and that allows X7 to take the peak. Taking down the full health player will be traded back on by Lekro, but with Sunny still on the bomb site, this kill should be quite easy for him. And actually just lets Alu have it. Doesn't peek up. Alu going to be holding the cross from heaven and easily connecting that one. 6-3. ENCE now sitting with double the scoreline of NIP, and they've done that by taking 6 rounds in a row. They are definitely surprising me. I mean, statistically on Overpass, they played it, what, 4 times I think in the past few months. Hadn't got a victory on it, and when they played NIP on it last, they lost 16-4. So this is a whole different level of performance from them right now. And it's kind of shocking. I mean, Alu dropped a 40 bomb back on train, and it wasn't enough for them to get the win. He's playing really well here as well, but you're also seeing Ariel stepping up, X7 also having a solid performance. If they can keep this going, then they can definitely manage to recover this series.
You gotta remember the teams they played against, though. Like, those other games on Overpass were versus Astralis, MIBR, OG, and they weren't nearly as one-sided as the loss versus NIP. You can put that down to a once-off, potentially, certainly if ENCE do answer back here. Forward only finds the one as Lekro trades back a little more. Sunny's out to save the day, or maybe not. Reza 1v2, I mean, they know where he is, so he shouldn't get much getting rid. So they just executes him. They have lost 3 players, and overall, that's a fairly positive result for NIP. They shouldn't have gotten that much access.
Getting caught by that short push. We've seen it earlier, obviously, when they were trying to boost, they got caught by it. This time, it was only the 1 player standing around there, but he was spamming. So once he popped up, once they actually popped out short, he wasn't really in a position to do anything. I think he was low on bullets already. The teammate who he had back towards the CT spawn had just, I think, about came off the angle, so he was left out exposed on his own. So, as you said, good damage at least being connected by him, being able to get 3 kills there. Now they're back on the gun round. They don't really have any weaknesses in this one, so no excuses. They do just need to start getting some rounds on the board. And Sergey, he's going to find 3 players up close. This is going to be a big shock. He manages to actually get one, as well as tagging down Plopsky. So that's probably the best position he could have came out with there, apart from if he had have actually finished off that second player. Sunny though may not be expected.
Alu's here as well. Tech9 in hand, fakes through the smoke right up behind Plopsky, hand on his back, and takes him down. Sunny, though, gets eliminated in the connector, but it is still a 1 versus 3. NIP again playing from behind, and ENCE leaving us completely clueless as to how they come through. It's such a good CT side, considering how things played out, how this map looked in general. NIP is... Whoa, hello. Twist got a little bit scared for a second there. I'm guessing what happened there was he, like, hit his keyboard or something. As he flicked or went off his mouse mat. Because he was just spraying a wall and then flicked. Must have been a mouse lift.
Oh, they're both coming in from behind, though. Actually, only tapped the bomb. That is massive. Once he doesn't see anyone stepping out from bank or anything, he might just decide to plant it for bank. Could run it down to B if he wanted. He's going to catch back into short. Spots out both players and actually gets the first kill. And indeed now... Oh, it looked like he was going to run it to B. Never mind. Just plants out a truck, but he thinks that's what's happening. X7, for a moment, did think it was being wrapped around towards B. Obviously, with how quickly it's planted, he knows that's not the case, so he will begin to move back in. And Twist is on 7 health, so he only needs 1 bullet to end this.
But he has no idea where Twist is. This is the problem. Oh, but he's looking at the right angle. Jumps up and Twist on the flick. There we go. NIP on the board at long last. But man, that was close and a huge performance by Twist. 4 kills coming out of that round.
Yeah, I thought the round was over, but surprise, plot twist. Yeah, I mean, it's still a bit shocking, though, how it's been a little bit of a poor T-side overall. They had that great start, and as we said, kind of winning that eco seemed to just ignite something underneath ENCE and really get them going. But that's the opening that NIP need. If they can get a second round off the back of it, ENCE's economy will be destroyed at that point, and we're likely going to see NIP coming up to 6 rounds already on the T-side, which is a pretty solid half. It'd be a good foundation if they could add 1 more to it, especially then they'd be feeling really good. Well, let's see, because it's still a relatively strong buy for ENCE, apart from just a couple of weaknesses in terms of the weaponry. But look at the boost. The man who was the hero in the previous round is the one to go ahead and open up here as well. They catch that connector aggression. They're fine with the 1-for-1 trade.
ENCE reacting by pushing Aerial and X7 all the way through B. Spotted out that no one's here. Aerial on the long flank, but Sunny's going to have to delay them for so long for this to really matter. Although, actually, they're slowed down because they had no toilets control. Nothing on long either. Sunny tucks in on the site. You see, if he falls, they'll instantly push forward. They'll just rush him. But Aerial makes the decision to go down through connector. This is going to cost him a little bit of extra time. And he's just actually now just going to tuck in and hold B, excuse me, as they rotate. I didn't notice this come up by X7. So a 2-man hold on the A-bomb site. They know that the T's can't go B, at least, well, definitely not within the time left. So it has to be an A hit. Aerial going to flank up behind a little bit later on. They need kills. Sunny finds 1. They have no idea about X7, who grabs another. And now it's just a waiting game. Just needs to buy the time for Aerial to come behind on that M4. Close! What an angle in that smoke, but X7 can't get it done. And Aerial, both players low. He knows where 1 is. He knows where the second is because the bomb plant tries to spray control over but can't get it done. Nade comes through and Knock wins out the round just about. Nice attempt at pulling it back, considering there are only 3 left for ENCE.
That was a perfect little 1-2 combination he hit him with there towards the end. Even if he fell to the actual aim duel, I think that Nade likely would have finished it off anyway for him. So he's done his best to ensure that he'd be able to win out the 1v1, a 5th for NIP, and as I said, most likely a 6th now off the back of it, because we have pretty much no investment, just a couple just a couple nades rather being upgraded behind these USPs. You have 1 HE, 1 flash, and they're going to bring it towards mid, so a nade in, try and do that initial damage, make it easier for the pistols alongside the flash then, see if they can catch a couple blind players off guard. But it's not happening right now. It's a little bit more passive from the D side, holding to wait and see if any aggression comes in, knowing that they are against a weaker investment that at most probably has a few pistols being upgraded. Nade should do some damage on res though. Yeah, dropping them down to 52. The shot being connected by Sunny as well. Yeah, already a couple players fallen, with the weapons being retrieved as well.
An overall fairly positive engagement for ENCE. Considering they only walk in with the USPs, they've still got the AK on Alu, who swings out to trade in a 1v1. How have we gotten here? Alu looks for the final and gets it on knock. 3 kills for him in that round. And just not a round ENCE had any right to win. And yet they walk away with it. NIP not going to be happy considering where their money's at as well. They're forced down to an eco.
It's the second eco that they've lost already. It is costing them a lot, honestly. Because if they hadn't lost the previous eco, then they would have been up 4-0 in the beginning. Would have been in a much better spot for that opening gun round as well. And I mean, losing that one right now, that was a great play by Alu, to be fair. And just in general, the entire team sticking together. But NIP is not one they could afford to have go like that. Now they're just on pistols themselves. They have to give away the 9th, and at most they're going to be fighting for that 6th round on the T side. And even then, ENCE will have a good opportunity to try and actually bring it to double digits at the halftime, which I would say is a necessity as they move on to their T side if they want to feel comfortable. But here we go, right now, focused on mid. There is one player pushed up on long. Other than that, though, a very passive A play coming in. Sergey should find this quite soon.
You know what doesn't paint a pretty picture is the fact that ENCE have won 2 of those rounds with the USPs. They're punishing NIP in rounds where they shouldn't be winning, and yet we still see NIP with 5 rounds. That is fairly concerning. Possibility to bring it to 6 is definitely there, and with all those opportunities given, you wouldn't want to see that. Sergey's somehow still alive here, but eventually as the smoke fades, he will be pushed down and taken out of the game. Alu gets 1, and that's the bomb dropped. Sunny pushes up to secure it, and NIP will struggle to get back in. They have got the smoke to block Alu off and potentially isolate the fight up close. The molly to stop the close swing, and Alu through the smoke to save his teammate from being overwhelmed by pistols. Well handled here by ENCE. They don't lose a single another player. But we're coming into the final round anyways, so 1 player lost, or even 1 more, wouldn't have mattered that much, as they'll leave nothing on the table here.
No, both teams going to be putting their all into this one because it definitely does make a massive difference. If NIP get the 6th round, I think at that point, as you said, they probably will be feeling pretty decent with their half, especially considering they lost 2 rounds that they definitely should have. The fact that they can still come out with 6 would be a good result. But if ENCE managed to get 10, they're in a really good spot themselves, especially if they were to pick up that 2nd pistol at that point. They would have a good opportunity to come back and just demolish, maybe even flip the scoreline nearly from what we seen the previous time these two played. Obviously not exactly, since NIP already have 5. But here we go. I mean, NIP going to be taking a little bit more standard this time, focusing on just splitting up and getting themselves the map control. And that looked like it should have been a kill for Lekro. Somehow Sunny was able to react to it. I believe Lekro did get blinded up as well a little bit. So the opening kill ends up actually going in favor of ENCE.
Yeah, I was scratching my head watching Lekro's spray. It looked pretty good. I'm sure he's in a similar boat, but failing to find that opening, that's really slowed them down. And moving in towards that B site, they've not got anything towards water as they slowly push forward. Alk tries to spot out Monster, but instead gets his head ripped off. And NIP behind in this round by quite a bit. They've got a lot of work to do in order to make it work. Looks like it's all going to be a water push with 50 seconds left on the clock. Is that 3 players up towards the A site? Yeah, look at how heavy ENCE are playing A.
Could
they don't spot
potentially
anyone.
cost them, yeah.
They've got to rotate
especially
down.
With that boot. Twist got himself that kill, but they're not going to commit quickly. If NIP had a gun pretty fast, then there would have been a bit of a tough time maybe for CTs with the heaven smoke going down especially. Doesn't really allow Alu to do anything. He's actually rotated back up to A, thinking that it could potentially still be a fake at this point. Of course, we know that's not the case, especially now as Aerial goes down. ENCE will also find that information themselves. Sergey, though, he wants to go forward before they can set themselves up, and unfortunately, that has now actually put ENCE into a 2-on-3 retake, rather than having a 3-on-3 that they could have played together. Trying to just use what they had. Molotov at least potentially forcing one player out of position, but it's not going to cost them once they find that kill in heaven. It's just Alu coming in on his own. 3 crossers trained in on that CT spawn. And there it is. NIP managed to recover the 6th round despite having a slow start in it. Will they be able to do more? Are they going to be able to come back and really pick up the pace here on their own map pick like we expected initially? Who knows? You will have to, of course, wait until after the halftime break.
No pulse and all alone. Time's not kind and it won't let go. No thoughts left in my head. My mind's not mine and it won't forget. But you bring me back from my darkness black as the soul in me and the heart I have for you. It bleeds for you, it beats again. Oh, you bring me to life.
Hello everybody and welcome back. We are ready to roll with another half. Overpass, half number 2. It's Ninjas in Pyjamas on the CT side. They found 6 rounds on their T, which was, I mean, by all accounts, decent. But that included losing to 2 USP buys by ENCE, which is worrying considering then, I suppose the scoreline should be that little bit more one-sided. And so got good access into this and into the round as Plopsky falls early on. And that is a massive absence in the B defense for NIP.
Yeah, I mean, do they have Lekro in heaven? Yeah, he actually is in heaven, so he's not up on A at least, so he's in a position where he can quickly rotate back to A if needed, but also, of course, can help out towards B. I like the idea of getting that connector info. It just didn't work out and leaves Nip in a pretty difficult spot. ENCE right now not really giving any information away, just creeping forward over towards this A side of the map. They have one player who has spotted some monster aggression. So at this point, some info at least should be found by Nip. It hasn't really pulled the rotation back down towards B. There's still 2 players up on this A-bomb site, fortunately. I mean, with 50 seconds left, ENCE could really still do anything, but they are beginning to throw the smokes in now, getting ready to move forward, but just using that as a bit of a fake.
Oh, here we
Knock,
go.
though.
Yeah, he's here in the steps. He knows they're coming. They've checked him, though. There's 1 kill, but traded out immediately. ENCE barreling in, but look, the rotates are already down. Twist is in position. He's got another on site as Lycro looks to swing up through. Twist has already got a double, and from up above, NIP look to close this one out. Alu's on his way, and X7 just tucks away. He wants to wait as long as he can before taking these fights. Oh, nice shot by Lycro. Low HP on X7. How does he get out of this one? Block in hand, bomb as well, but swing through from Rez, and a double tap to finish him off. 9-7. NIP winning out that pistol round. No bomb plant for ENCE. I don't think we're seeing a force buy.
That was just such a massive position from Nock. Sure, he only got 1 kill, but he got that info so much earlier than they would have gotten otherwise, and allowed for that rotation to come down and be in place, as we see in getting the 2 kills then through the smoke as the cross was coming into the bomb site. So that was absolutely massive, and with that 7 for the Ninjas, they're looking to try and bring this back, close in the distance a little bit. They'll need to pick up the first gun round if they actually want to tie the score itself, but this round itself should be easy. I mean, it's 5 Glocks. You can never count them out. Maybe they can overrun a player or so, maybe even steal away a weapon. But on paper, we're not really expecting too much. Just straight out the monster smoke as well. So not really going to be given any close range aim duel. Okay, nearly catching that Heaven player. Eventually managing to finish him off. I guess 4 Glocks combined and really can do some damage at range. But other than that, no success being found. Plopsky even builds up some bank with that MP9.
A nice bit of cash for him. On 9-8, though, this is where ENCE actually come into the lead a little bit, certainly fiscally. They've got themselves a much better investment than what NIP have been able to put forward, as they maintain a lot of the weapons from the previous round. The MP9 of Plopsky, the Scout on Res, even the FAMAS for Knock, who hasn't bought up utility. In fact, keeping just the smoke he had and then leaving the 3900 in its stead. Interesting choice to not fully gamble into the round.
Shooting his teammate a little bit there, Plopsky. That was awkward. Does actually manage to pick up the kill himself, though, on that duel they were taking against X7. The corner of the fence, so nice bit of control. A lot of info being found. They've smoked off deep monsters, so they've restricted that area to map right now for ENCE. And with that, they could bring a bit of a stack up towards A. The issue is right now, Res up on long, actually alone. With the smoke down further back, so he was isolated off. He didn't have the ability for his teammate to help him out, and that was really well played by ENCE now to pull that back. A 4-on-4. They can slow things down a little bit, still having a minute to actually use on that clock, and also a decent amount of nades as well once they do begin to actually approach one of these bomb sites. Not the case for NIP, though. They do have some HEs itself, but only one smoke and a couple flashes.
Frag by Lycro as Sergey falls. ENCE have got a decision to make now. They have got a player down towards the B bomb side as Alu slowly creeps forward through Monster, not facing any contact and makes it out. I expect they're going to move to Connector and start pushing down to this site, suspecting that they've pulled full rotations up towards the A site. Alu's calming that now that there's literally no one here, but oh, he's going to be taken down. The rotate by Lycro so perfectly timed, and as Aerial dies on long, Sunny is left in this middle kind of the road. He doesn't know what to do. Where can he realistically go at this point?
Yeah, and I think for this round, it's time for the Sun to set. That AK just going to be carried over. No time, even if he wanted to try and even attempt this, so wasn't really an option. No one going to hunt it down, obviously. NIP themselves having some money, but not really been in positions to get anywhere near him in time. So 4 players surviving for NIP. They tie it up at 9-9. I said how important that opening gun round was actually going to be for them, and they managed to take it. They do so convincingly. And now they leave ENCE in a pretty awkward spot, because sure, they have the one rifle here to work with, but Sunny has no money in the bank, so going into the next round, unless they get the bomb plant down, his buy is going to be a little bit awkward. I mean, if he gets 1 kill, it gives him sufficient economy to get the AK and the Kevlar just. But overall, they do need to find some success in this round here to keep the pressure on. Otherwise, NIP going to be getting back into the lead, and at that point, looking like they might indeed be able to close this out 2-0, despite ENCE having a really strong CT side overall.
Access for ENCE is so important. The fact of the matter is, as I said, you saw NIP making a lot of mistakes when it came to that first half, and realistically, ENCE picking up the 9 rounds is good, but they need to do more. They need to pop through with some decent score lines, and if they can't win these buy rounds, obviously this one has quite a big exception to it, with barely anything invested for the most part. But if they fail to connect them, then we do start to get quite worried. NIP are known to be good on this map, and it's not like ENCE have got that fallback anymore of moving through to the final of Inferno and putting up the good fight that they did the previous time these teams played. NIP, I think, are now at the forefront, definitely with a huge advantage. They have no pressure on them. They don't need to win this map. They know that they're more comfortable on this one than ENCE are. Certainly with the CT side to play with, and now back in the lead as well. So any advantage ENCE had is sort of fading away.
And yeah, considering how the map normally goes for them, I'm not really one to believe that they can make the comebacks happen. I mean, it was looking really good after they had the first half being so strong. I was thinking if they could get off to a good start on their T side, then oh yeah, we could definitely have them picking it up. But right now, it's just not looking good for them. There is a couple players actually going aggressive though for NIP. Yeah, the Molotov going down, going to stop them from being able to peek. I think the goal there was to get aggressive, maybe around short at the same time, try and battle for that B water control, but not really able to do so. It will go over towards ENCE, so they've got themselves at least a decent position early on controlling this part of the map, with most of their players now focusing to try and get control around the bathrooms and such, so restricting NIP from really being able to get any aggression early in this round at all. You can see the only real player sticking around it to see if they can find the early challenge is Twist, and even then, pretty passive, gets flashed off the angle. So good work by ENCE. They've got themselves the control now. They have quite a few options and a lot of time on the clock as well. And it looks like they're just giving up the B side of the map. So maybe a clear goal in mind.
Well, yeah, I think it's fairly safe to say ENCE are going to move into the A site with all the control they've given up. The fact that the 4 players are so heavily concentrated in towards short. You've got Alu further back, ready to pop a flash over, and this is where things start to get rolling. NIP have a 3-man hold. With the positions they're currently in, oh, hold on. A little bit of aggression from Lecro. This actually changes it up. Alu could potentially get a free pick as they push forward. There we go. Alu swinging out, taps away, takes Lecro out. The turn actually by Twist is pretty damn decent. The AWP eventually dealt with, and a man advantage now for ENCE. The best buy round they've had so far, and NIP going to struggle to get back in here. Good post plants with a crossfire set up on the bomb site. Have both got a flash on the CT side as they move through. And actually, excuse me, it's not a crossfire. Sergey is holding by himself. He picks up the one knock through to trade, and it's all down to Alu with no scope in hand.
Look at the distance he has to run as well. This bomb is just going to be straight up stuck potentially. Knock actually tapping it, expecting Alu to be up close on long, but as he swings out, finds Alu trying to reset the spray. At that point, he just had to spam away because obviously Knock could have been sticking the bomb, so there wasn't really many other options. Either that or he gambled that it wasn't being, and at that point could have given up the round either way. Well played by Knock, though, to come out on top of that 1-on-2, I believe. As he, of course, did get the trade on Sergey up close as well. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough spot to be in. I think ideally the player on site maybe should have waited until after Sergey found contact to peek in. He ended up just going down, and then Sergey was pinned in the corner with really nothing that he could do. 11-9, that was a round that ends very much needed. Would have given them a nice opportunity to tie up the score. Instead, now they scrape together to buy as much as they can. They don't have an op on Alu, and Alu himself has barely any health left at this point. I believe he got naded and mollied down as he was trying to get that beat. Or rather, a mid control, I believe it was.
Still going forward by himself as well, clearing out these angles. As he spots nobody up aggressively in toilets, ENCE are now free to come in through connector and look for that control. You've got Rez holding down in the back long side of toilets though. Oh, that's a nice flash. You don't see that every day. Pops up off the light nice and high. Not catching anyone though. A super passive hold in play. You've got the AWP of Twist playing from the bomb site itself up close to the signpost. As Rez falls back to long, but he won't get away with that for free. Alu's coming through here, smoked out, and now wide swinging. They're trapped in toilets. Rez is going to have a big hold to get out of here alive. And look at Twist, actually. He started to get aggressive around that smoke. He had me worried for a second. Rez is forced to take the fight and taken down. But he's done quite a bit of damage to Sunny alongside Alu's low HP.
Yeah, that's a pretty big issue for the buys of ENCE, having 2 players so heavily weakened before they actually move towards a bomb site, and especially with the time that they have right now. 22 seconds. If that bomb gets dropped, it could be a massive issue. 2 players towards the monster side, one on the ramp that they have to deal with as well. But they actually tried it out very successfully. They only lose 1 player in the midst of actually getting onto that bomb site and getting that bomb planted. And with Twist being left alone now, sure he has plenty of money. Sure, Nip had pretty decent economy in general. Yeah, is he still just keeping his crosshair on his head in heaven? He's been doing that pretty much since he planted it. Obviously not knowing he's there, so he hasn't shot away. But yeah, no, Twist, I think it's just trying to see if he can maybe pick up an exit or some sort of opening. If he had gotten a kill quickly, maybe he would have considered going for it. But at this point, he definitely just has to save. Can drop over a weapon, boost up the buy for a teammate a little bit. Obviously, only getting 1400. Plopsky, for example, will only have 4450. So if he was to buy for himself, his nades wouldn't be great. So ideally, you do want him to get dropped the rifle. Obviously, Twist, he'll probably consider giving the off back to Nip, to Knock, and then maybe he can come right instead. So we'll see what way they do it. Either way, a pretty strong investment will still come in. But ENCE, they found the lifeline. They finally added a round to the board here on the T side.
It had to happen eventually, Dean, didn't it? The thing is, NIP are far ahead now. It is only one round, but the fact that they're on the defense, it gives them that nice little bit of comfort at their back. It was the favorite side, and where they did fairly damn well against ENCE in the past. To start this one out, the T side have, again, spread into those defaults, kept back by utility in middle, and nading quite a bit through, hoping that Twist would be playing an aggressive angle, but not being given the reward for if he was. As they then late pull down to A, or to B, excuse me, after that early A presence with the grenades, they could be looking at a much faster hit through, trying to fake out their A presence and then just rush in, and indeed that's what's going on.
Yeah, a little bit of a switch up. Right now, we have Knock in the pit. I believe he does have help already coming in from heaven, so won't be alone for too long. Indeed, Lekro actually just going to drop straight out so that they can try and fight this one together. But you can see ENCE flashing in, looking to just try and push forward, take this control. Finding that opening. Up close in the smoke, though, I was going to say Knock was tempted to push through and stop that bomb plant, decided against it, and it probably was for the better. You see Rez eventually picking up one and now giving them the 3-on-3. Already, of course, being up close to the bomb site as well. No real time for ENCE to set themselves up in this after plant. As Knock finds Alu playing around the pillar, it's all onto Sergey and Sunny now to try and save this one for them. And you like this position, at least from Sergey, playing above the smoke. He may be able to catch one off guard. Gonna actually just nade in onto the bomb. He don't quite get the kill, but it does some damage, but not enough. Unfortunately, giving away his position. The spam came true. Sunny now on 9 health. Actually manages to get it. Was Rez out of bullets? What the hell happened?
I'm guessing he ran out from the sprays he'd gone for in the player on top of sandbags and thought, hell, I'll just go in and knife him, but instead ends up losing the round because of it. That is such a big mistake. An 11-11, ENCE. They're lucky to get that round, but now they get a reward, as NIP don't have a lot of cash. And immediately we see Lekro invest into the Deagle and armor. The rest of the team have the option to play in for rifles on Twist, Knock, and Plopsky. You can even get an AWP through with just 2 weaker weapons. And on the CT side, that's a little bit more viable. So I expect, well, and indeed, as you can see, no suspense around it anymore. We do get the full investment through.
This is a massive opportunity, though, for ENCE. If they get this, 13-11 most likely, and then, I mean, they've actually brought themselves back into the lead after having such a poor start here on their T side. I wasn't exactly believing in it, but it's definitely possible now. Double up setup coming through, at least. Twist is glass cannon, unfortunately. He has a couple of flashes behind it. They have the 1 M4 and Plopsky. 2 Deagles then, as Rez and Lekro are the ones relegated down to those weaker weapons. So it's not the worst investment we've seen, but they would have wanted a bit more. And as I said, with this round being so crucial, it is certainly going to be a tough one. Ideally, wanting to maybe try and find some early openings on these AWPs so that they can have some sort of comfort, at least some sort of security then in the round. And although the opportunity does come to Twist over towards long, unfortunately not able to connect it. With that, he will be forced to fall back and play a little bit more passive now around the bomb site with Rez. So a good opportunity here for ENCE. They'll be able to get themselves that long control, probably start moving in towards bathrooms. But for the moment, they're still mostly favored outside Monster.
Definitely going to take their time moving through. You can see they've got presence up towards the A bomb site as Ariel looks to fake that out. The buy they're up against with this double op setup is intimidating, but should they get the angle to take one of them down, especially Twist, their reward will be huge. There's Ariel onto one. No way he suspects Twist to be on short as well and gets taken down because of it. But as that happens, down we go on B, pushing on forward as the pistols hold down. Close in the M4. He's been spotted as well. This bomb plant should be obtained. What a good trade back by Knock, at least, to catch X7 and keep things within the realm of possibility.
At this point, having a double up setup and no money in the reserve, I think the save has to be called for. And unfortunately, with that flank from Alu up on the A bomb site, you see already one of them being cut off. Twist at this point trapped in, sandwiched in pretty much between these terrorists. So I don't believe he's going to be allowed to escape unless he gets this kill on Alu and just starts sprinting. But now he's sticking around in bank. I don't know. Maybe they won't quite hunt them down. He doesn't have Kevlar though, but no. Sergey has found them. Didn't actually notice how close he was right there. Mine was watching Alu. 12-11, ENCE, they get the lead, as I said, off the back of that. Probably going to bring it up to 13, considering it is going to be a full eco from NIP. But we've seen a couple full eco wins from ENCE. Who's to say that NIP can't come through with the same? Not saying it will. Should be ENCE's round, but again, I've been caught off guard a few times already just on this map by what the pistols can do.
Well, at least one of those two that NIP lost were because of, you know, questionable decisions, running through a Molotov, just playing very fast into a rush on B against a weaker buy, and not going for the same thing. Luckily, they play a super slow default. In fact, one of the slowest rounds we'll see from them on the T side. Holding in for the pushes that they know are going to come through, and as they find the opening there on Duplopsky, it doesn't prompt any massive reactions. They're still waiting, knowing that NIP should be making a move, as Ariel just W keys around the map, looking for someone to take down some victims of the MAC-10.
Yeah, he's scouting out with this weapon. Not with this scout, but with a MAC-10. Trying to see if this A-bomb site is clear. He'll find that it's not completely. There is one player, but the kill should be easy enough. Actually got dinked down before dealing out any damage, so that was a little bit dangerous. And there is still a player up close on short, so he has to actually deal with Twist. Has spotted him, of course. I believe now knows there's a player on the stairs, and he swings out to get himself that kill. At this point, though, really, he was just a massive distraction because they were getting ready to commit true monster. By the time they actually push out, the rotation is going in from NIP. So they have no one there to defend anymore. They're really just trying to see if they can get this kill on Alu, potentially steal away a rifle. But considering it's just Twist now at 10 health, I don't really think that's going to be happening. Alu doesn't really need to risk his own weapon too much either. Sergey should find this in just a moment. So, 13-11. Only one casualty, not too big of a deal. I mean, if they invested into a couple of pistols, so that's what they were looking for. Overall, keeping at least some damage on towards the economy events, but they have a decent amount of money built up to allow for at least one extra buy. So we're going to need to see Nip pick this up again and at least find a couple rounds in a row before they can start taking back control.
They're very much holding on by a string at the moment. If ENCE win this, 15-11 pretty much guaranteed with the lack of cash. So a very important round for NIP. They've got the op-out on Twist, limited utility. And ENCE are looking better than you would have ever imagined coming into Overpass. This early play by NIP could be dangerous, though. Two players close, and AWP watching the angle, ready to swing. Twist has got a lot of work to do as he pulls on through, not seeing them just yet. He's just an inch away from them the whole way around. And ENCE don't get punished. A free opening duel going their way, and the only problem for them now is potentially Twist catching them out on that late long play. The bomb down towards B, though, looks to push into that site. So after prodding out on short, probably throwing out a bit of fake utility, you imagine they'll go back down connector and hit the B site. They've been doing this fairly consistently, playing heavier fakes on that A site. So I do wonder if they get a read on it. Already you see the rotate down, but as Twist picks up a kill, I think... Oh, I would have imagined one of the B players would rotate up. Okay, it's a little bit slow, but Lekro does eventually. That opens up the door for ENCE to walk through on B. Oh, Lekro's back. Never mind.
Not exactly, yeah. The door, unfortunately, was covered in flames, so trying to actually get out monster was a bit of an issue. Lots of damage being taken, and eventually the trade's being pulled now back in favor of ENCE. You have Twist still in position, though, so he will be able to drop the bomb now in a pretty awkward spot for Alu to try and retrieve. But as I said, I haven't backed off to the CT spawn. He's not really in a position himself where he can hold that anymore. Gonna wrap around in towards heaven. Alu, he could just go get that bomb right now if he wanted to, but he's taking his time, being cautious. 15 seconds, he does need to get a move on right now, though. Twist just peeking out, spots it. I was a bit afraid from there. It looked like Alu may have had a moment to try and line up the headshot himself, but in the end, it does go the way of Twist. 12th round for NIP, but as I said, they need to chain a couple together if they want to actually break that economy events. So it is going to be another full buy-in, and only surviving at one themselves. I mean, NIP's buy is relatively atrocious in terms of the actual weapons that they have available. I like that they were willing to sacrifice down, though, so that they get the extra nades and such. But they also realize that this buy is nowhere near ideal, so they do call in for the tactical pause. Not too surprisingly, this is such a crucial round for them.
In that previous round, you could tell NIP had a read on what was going down. Twist so comfortable after spotting a player pushed all the way up on short to call to his teammates that he doesn't need to rotate. I imagined as soon as he saw that player took the kill, Lekro would just even throw the molly and just run up to the A site, because at that point most players will suspect a faster rush. But instead, he stays there. They keep a 3-man B stack. Twist by himself because he knows so frequently they've been faking A. They've been late pushing B. And with just that one player there, no smokes down, no flashes, this doesn't look like an execute. And for a terrorist to be all the way pushed up there without any smokes down, doesn't look like they were trying to fully 5-man commit to the site. Really good read by Twist. And a 3K, obviously, he found the kill on short to stop the fake from working. Oh, look at that boost as well. Nasty! Rez with a free opening. But that was Twist's round the previous. He stops the A fake from working. He then shuts down B. And then obviously won the round in the 1v1.
Oh, and a second pick in the exact same spot. This time from Knock, though. He had pushed up through short instead. Yeah, I mean, it's not an uncommon boost there that we've seen from Rez, but it's normally a thing that you'll limit to once a game, if even. So normally just not going to be expecting it. So this was a great time for them to switch it up. They realize how important this round is. They're like, let's throw in a little something different that should give us a really high chance of getting that opening kill and just being able to capitalize on it. And now with a 5-on-3 especially, they're in a really good spot. They needed this with those weaker weapons in play. And still have time, and they do have a few nades. 2 Molotovs, a smoke, and 2 flashes. Not ideal, but they will look to bring it on towards the A-bomb site where one player himself is towards the steps, and then you also have Rez over on long. So, I mean, if they can get this kill quickly for sure over towards the stairs, not have the ability then for the CT to get a quick trade. But I am a bit worried that they may not be cautious of it. But here we go, going forward, the upshot being missed. Twist doesn't want to stick around, willing to give up the bomb site, but they are trying to hunt down Rez.
Looks like we may have lost Dean, but we'll carry it forward, I guess. Now 4 versus 3, ENCE tucked away, but Sergey is about to be peeked out from bank. As he suspects, they've just seen Knock actually swings through afterwards. Great play by Sergey. And what is now looking like it's going to be a T round, but maybe not. NIP trying to get back out here. Alu with the op, taken down up close, and Lekro hasn't got a kit. Is there one on site for him? It doesn't look like it. Time ticking away. Has he got enough? It looks like he does. Yeah, he's got it done. Pulling it through and putting 13-13 on the board. What a tight round, but NIP do well to just about take that in the end. Dean, are you with us? Maybe fixed it. No. Looks like Dean's having some net issues. Don't know if you guys have experienced that in the past. Yesterday, I was one of the victims. Right, you had that like every 40 or 50 minutes, you'd have a 10-minute internet outage. It was really fun. So it looks like Dean is suffering from that at the moment. He'll be back with us eventually. Until then, F's in chat for Dean. We miss him. Never forget he. But 13-13, absolutely insane round for NIP, pulling that one through, putting themselves now in a position to fight all the way home. We mentioned that they didn't have money. Had NIP have lost that round, this would well, it would almost definitely be 15-11. At that point, ENCE, they're struggling. They're suffering. Or NIP, struggling, suffering. But no, not anymore. Now the T side are the ones at a deficit. X7 comes in with a deagle, knock on the opening. Oh, they've got to be careful. The T's barreled forward immediately, but they're not stopping at anything. 2 frags coming through for the CT side as ENCE now struggle to get into B. They don't want to push up short. Not when you haven't got a proper execute lined up. You've 1 player still towards A and no notion of how many CTs are on the site. No information whatsoever. It has to be played slowly. And for them, that means waiting for NIP to make a mistake, but as of yet, that just isn't possible. Look at the positions from the Ninjas. They are passive on the A bomb site, and they're passive on B. Happy to 2-2 stack. That is fine. With that kind of a setup, they're at most in a 2v3. And that is if ENCE don't make it obvious where they're going. You can see the bomb is sat outside of the B bomb site. However, ENCE are going in for toilets, making sure no one's pushed up, and thereby that there's not a 3-man B stack. But with 40 seconds left on the clock, their decision-making abilities are fairly limited. And X7 starts to move up towards A because they no longer have time to later move on down. As the Ninjas hold passively on B, here comes the execute. As ENCE Get that bomb up through short. Once it hits about the toilet doors, I expect them to move forward. Hold on. No, they're already going. Alu's in there. He's poking the beast, and that's going to cause a problem. Smoke through. Nade as well. That could do some deep. It's a little bit too deep, I think. As he swings in, he doesn't know Knock is close. Spotted him now, though. Rez goes down. So too does Knock. And all of a sudden, ENCE are far ahead. 5 seconds left. They can't stop the bomb from being planted. Nade through does damage, but the crossfire setup from ENCE is too strong. The smoke in play actually blocks off that crossfire a little bit. The spray from Lekro. He survives being counter-spammed. Oh, no! It goes inside his helmet. Goodbye, Lekro. And Plobsky in a 1v3. Not feeling it, but he gets a kill. For the kid as well, he could go for it. The money is so low, though. They want to save this through to the next round. And yeah, it looks like it is just going to be commitment to save, leaving ENCE to pick up a 14th round. A disappointing late play by Ninjas. Oh, Plobsky. You could see his leg. That swing out just cost him his life. Means they gave up on actually going in for the retake for nothing. That's a kick in the delicates. As Ninja's now 13 to 14 down. ENCE pulling ahead. They've got plenty of cash to get their investment. 2 MAC-10s making an appearance as they know that they're up against an eco. This is NIP conceding a 15th round unless some sort of witchcraft comes through. One-for-one trades to start it out are certainly the way you'd want to be beginning things if you're on the CT side. Normally, that's not the case. You'll hear us say plenty of one-for-one trade. That's bad for the CTs, and that's because in a normal circumstance, it means the Ts have the same map, but you can't defend it as actively. It stays the same size, right? But you've got fewer defenders. In this case, though, you're not expected to win one-for-one duels. And so, trading back, considering you're only realistically hoping to get 2 kills or more, anything from the 2 kills forward is a big bonus. I think you're fairly happy. Now, ENCE want to go to B, and this is where there's a big problem in play because you've got the heavy stack, the 3-man boost coming through. Who's on top of it? It's Plobsky. He's going to get a chance onto Aerial. Sadly, it's a MAC-10, not one of the AKs, but this could be a man advantage. I doubt he checks it. No, look at that. Not a damn clue. Oh, no, he turns around. Just in time, no. Plobsky deals with him. But afterwards, once you face the AKs, this is what happens. 2 kills found. Not too bad. But ENCE hit 15, and they're looking to bring this all the way through. And here we go in what could be the finale. ENCE, 15 rounds on the board. They're looking to bring us to Inferno. The possibility is certainly there, but it's going to take a little bit of convincing. NIP don't want to let it go. They've gone in for a full buy. They've got an AWP pulled out as well, but the utility is really limited. ENCE have lost health on Alu early on. Again, suffering because of those early mid nades that come through. We've seen come through a couple of times. It was the round where he got lit to 17 and only barely survived. Twist in danger as they're about to swing on now, but that flash won't hit him at all. The second one will from up above. Oh, he gets caught in the bin as well. Not able to get out of the toilets quickly. Luckily, they can't hunt him down in time. Rez has not been having a good time holding down toilets. Been quite a lot of rounds since we've seen him actually get a kill, indeed. And as they grouped up outside, I was getting worried for him, but it looks like he'll be let off with a warning. Hello and welcome back, Dean. You have returned.
Hello. Yes, my internet is just screwed right now. I don't know what's happening. My CS won't even connect to the CS network.
Ah, okay, fair enough. Well, you try to fix that. We're on 15 to 13. As ENCE are looking to take it across the line. They've just taken down Rez and put this into a fairly convincing spot. Ninjas have no idea where they're going, but as Plowski takes down Alu, X7 about to peek right into Lekro, and it's all down to Sergey to make this happen. Their money isn't fantastic if they lose this, and we could well see Ninjas pull it to an overtime. And with 7 seconds left, I don't think he's got time for this. It looks like saving is his only option, but he's actually pushed forward fairly aggressively. They might get him after time. He swings out, but look. Oh no, Plopsky won that? What? He swapped to a weapon as he was peeked. He was picking up an AK from the floor and still comes out ahead. That's devastating. Sergey's got no money. Sonny's on a deagle. So we're really relying on that AWP of Alu to come through. X7 and Ariel will get their own rifles, but Alu was the driving force to keep them alive when it came to train. 40 kills dropped. It was a double OT game in all fairness, but even still, he was incredibly consistent.
I am now loading it.
Oh, good, good. They actually called a timeout for you, Dean. So
Sick.
you've got about 10 seconds.
I am back in. It's not in a timeout at the moment. Oh, never mind. I forgot you linked the wrong IP earlier.
Oh, you just went to Dignitas.
Yeah, because you linked the wrong one earlier. So the one that's in our chat is the wrong one.
Well, Dean, look, what can you do?
I blame you. You're the producer here. You're giving
What
me
can you do?
All right, I have to go look for this now. Back.
All right, we're about to start. 15 to 14 as Dean gets back on the server in just a little bit. He should catch the end of this round at least.
Hopefully.
It's pinned, by the way, in that channel, Dean.
Yeah.
All right. So we start this one out, and whoops, that's not the flashbang you're looking for. Obi-Wan Kenobi'd it. But as ENCE look to move down towards B, they faked out a little bit of presence on mid earlier on, avoiding the early nades as well. Ariel moves forward, and Ariel falls down very quickly. Now they start to rotate back to site. Molly's down on B as they're ready for this to be a late fake push, and ENCE left with a man disadvantage. This could be overtime. NIP are looking good to take it all the way. The rotates down. See Lekro on the site to help out. He's good for one knock alongside him. And all of a sudden, it's all on Alu. We said it had to be the op to pull through. And he's going to have to get an ace clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I've just hopped back in, so I don't know how he's been doing the last couple of rounds, but I think a 1-on-5 is always a bit too much to expect of a player, especially as getting that first kill costs him pretty much all of his health, and then a follow-up nade is what ends him. 15 to 15. We are indeed getting an overtime here. And, oh, damn, I mean, this has been a lot more competitive than I expected it to be. ENCE can definitely still do this. I kind of want to see a third map just for the sake of having more of this. But, obviously, not gonna be biased like that. I do love both of these teams. I just love watching great CS in general, and I hope it continues now into this overtime because we don't have a break at all. We're just right into it, Mitch.
We are indeed. There's no messing around, no waiting. We just get right into the action. Alu again getting lit up by nades. This time it's a Molotov to take him down 40. A Molotov that, hot tip, Electronic doesn't know how to throw. Saw him miss it in a whole game versus Fnatic on Overpass every round. It was beautiful. He obviously didn't know the lineup wasn't working. Sonny and Ariel also suffering to the NIP early nades. And those advantages, you cannot overlook them. With 4 M4s in play, they double their chance essentially of taking down one of these Ts if they enter an aim duel. And in fact, even more so because they only need to hit the headshot then. It's no longer a case of having to tag them up after.
When you're on the CT side, even 10 damage with a nade to a player or two as we get to the round is usually a big thing, especially if you're using the M4s and you haven't actually retrieved a bunch of AKs and such. It can have a lot of impact. And as you said, with 3 players right now being considerably damaged here for the side of ENCE, this is a very strong opening into the round. Right now, though, we may see a clash up close in the bathrooms. I think that's Rez who's up close on the wall. He also has the assistance of Twist with the AWP. And then that Molotov actually limiting the approach there for ENCE for the moment. They can't wrap in through the steps for a second. But this is just going to kick off out of nowhere. And once it does, it's probably not going to slow down. Rez able to get one. Unfortunately, that's all he's limited to. But with 30 seconds left, it's not like ENCE really have many opportunities. They have to commit towards A unless they were to run back to B this second.
Now it looks like we're committing in towards that A bomb side. NIP took down. Good shot by Alu to start it off. But Twist has returned one on X7, another as well. He looks for Alu coming out long, and he catches him as well. What a round by Twist on the AWP. And what a way to start it out here for NIP. 16 to 15. As you see there, it's 1st and 19 in this overtime. So 2 more rounds to play on their CT side. And remember, this is trash overtime, or 10k overtime as it's usually referred to as. With 10k in the bank, if ENCE lose this round, they won't be able to buy up properly, and so it will be a force buy of pistols and SMGs to come into the last round of OT.
Well, 3 of them would still be able to get a pretty strong buy, but
That's true, actually.
in the case of Sunny and Alu, it would be a lot weaker. If they got a bomb plant, maybe they could scrape them out as well. But in general, yeah, it wouldn't be a perfect investment. So this is really where ENCE do want to pick up a round on the T side and give themselves an opportunity to try and get a second off the back of it, of course. But you do kind of need that 1 round as a base. Otherwise, the best you can do is fight for another overtime. But right now, looking to try and get some control around the A side of the map mostly. They've left 1 player to hold for monster aggression, but mostly focused on mid. Again, taking a small bit of nade damage early on, which could make things a little bit easier for these M4s. We see the flash going in to allow Rez to peek forward. He does spot 2 players towards long, but can't really afford to stick around after taking quite a bit of damage. He dealt out a small bit himself, but not quite the same amount.
X7 straight through the smoke. Bobski clearly not expecting that, got caught completely off guard. With that, ENCE have got a lot of options open to them. They've already poked the beast and caused some damage. And NIP now left in a fluster, not sure where the players are, but Rez, he's got the angle, but he's spotted as well. Big brain ENCE, they know what's going down. Twist him with another double on the op, though. As he falls back, he knows that Alu will be coming through long. This is a consistent factor of their A push, and he hears the player on site. All the info to work with, swings out, but not expecting Alu to already be so wide.
I mean, it could have been worthwhile waiting that little bit longer for Nock to position himself, because instead he's now left trying to come in with 2 players focused on that angle. And it's Sunny who goes ahead and takes him down once he actually tries to push forward. 16th round found for ENCE. They are indeed able to come back with 1 quickly themselves on that T side. And as I said, giving themselves a pretty good opportunity to try and get the second here, which if they do manage to get 2 on their T side, I'll be feeling good about their chances to actually win in the overtime. Of course, though, with this being Nip's choice, a map that they're familiar with, this is where you'd want them to really start shining through with the experience that they have on the map, and with probably the more overall time put into it in terms of practice. But who knows? Here we go, another gun round, of course, coming through as you would expect in the overtime. It's ENCE looking for some quick control yet again. This time, I'm going to be charging just 2 players out in the playground, 2 of them in towards B water, so not really leaving any spots open for the CTs to get aggressive towards, at least without it being noticed.
Nock's been playing this angle quite consistently with the A1 as well. I'm not sure about this. I mean, if he gets just straight rushed by these Ts, I don't see him picking up a whole bunch. He's got a little bit of support to come through for Plopsky. So far, it seems to me to be a bit of a one and done. Pushes forward to get a bit of a pixel angle on if they start to move forward, but Ariel already took close. Could be a big problem for him here. He spots him, but yeah, wasn't expecting him to already be that close. And with that, a 5v4. And again, no information really. ENCE are so spread out that they're not committed directly towards a bomb site. Meanwhile, NIP just have to kind of gamble on where it's going to be. And at the moment, I just want to check the rotate here by Rez. Yeah, it looks like they are going to commit down a 3-man B stack as ENCE look to take A.
Yeah, there was still some presence being shown around Connector, so in theory it could have been going in that direction for sure, but it seemed to have made the conclusion that the A-bomb site is the better option for them at this point. And I would agree, the second player beginning the rotate back up, but Twist has to get at least a couple of kills in order to actually give them time to do so. Gets himself the triple. A hat-trick already being found, being pushed down, hits the no-scope. Looking for the ace. Can he end it with it? Actually going to swap to the USB now, just running down the time. Even though he's not finding the last kill yet, he has confirmed the round win. A massive play. And Plopsky's there to go ahead and close that one out. Nip, they managed to come out on top of that half, give themselves the 1-round lead, and it is on the back of Twist right there, who is an absolute god.
That was ridiculous. I don't believe what I've just seen. Twist, he's been turning up all game long. 38 kills on the board now coming into the second half of overtime. But oh man.
Last game.
Oh yeah. You think you're a better opper, do you? That was incredible though. His A-holds have been on point, and I expected him to probably get 2 kills and make it a little more doable for them, but just again and again finding angle after angle, peeking into Alu. I know he said that Alu's always coming through long. You know that when they're pushing the A site, Alu is on long if they have an op. But to still dry peek him, crouching around and take him out, phenomenal. 17-16. NIP need 2 rounds here on their T side. Something which looks quite good if you think about the fact that they lost a lot of their rounds on their previous T side to USPs. So it was the bye rounds where they actually looked better.
True. I mean, that's normally with the pistols, you feel less pressure. Obviously, you can take a lot more gambles because you don't have much to lose. With the rifles, normally, these more standard setups. Sergey right now actually alone in the bathrooms. Could have been awkward, but as Twist gets flashed in, it's unfortunately not effective, so an easy kill being found. A nice little advantage, and he's even called in for the help there of Alu, knowing that obviously without the mid control and without having anyone to help on long, he would have been pinned in the backroom. So working together in order to get him out of that position. And they should realize no one's around long anymore, but a player also pushed up on short, as well as this aggression out of Monster. They know exactly what is happening here. NIP are being completely destroyed. It's fallen all to Rez and Knock, who has actually snuck his way into the bomb site. There's a chance to get this backstab. If they deal with Aerial quickly, they could have the opportunity to reach the bomb site, but unfortunately, Alu's already in position, and he's not going to be missing that shot.
No, he's not, unless Rez can have the performance of his lifetime here in a 1v3. This round should be gone by the wayside. He's already picked one up. Sergey hasn't been spotted as he fakes out the bomb, but he's not expecting it down below. He was looking towards short there. Pulling it into 17-17. ENCE on the rifle round. Again, we mentioned this in the previous half. If they find themselves the round win here, that does cause a lot of problems for the Ninjas in Pyjamas economy moving forward. Certainly restricting them from finding an AWP. And that's almost a... I guess it's a talking point of the terrorist side when it comes towards 10k OT. You can actually consistently get AKs, but it's in buying ops that you'll find weaknesses later on. So I wonder if maybe that's something, because we haven't seen NIP or ENCE go for the op on the T side in OT until the second round. I wonder if that's maybe a reason, just to give them a bit of security when it comes to the buys.
Yeah, from what you're saying, that makes complete sense to me, so I'm going to go ahead and agree with it that is pretty likely. Indeed, it does confirm they'll have a buy in the next round, but ideally they don't want to be getting to that point where they have to just scrape it together and play for another overtime. And unfortunately, with the damage that was done to Plopsky there by the op in the beginning of this round, it's not looking too great for them. A nice little advantage to begin this one for ENCE. Look at the boost as well, I believe, and see if they can spot anyone in towards B short here. Not playing up close on the watch to be spotted unless he goes out a little wider, and that's exactly what he does. Expecting that short aggression to come in, wanted to try and cover it off, and ends up going down. ENCE, they have themselves a man advantage on top of the initial damage, and Sergey even managed to drop the bomb carrier there.
And I'm here in quite a bit of trouble. They need to find at least one more to secure themselves another OT. Otherwise, it will be map number 3. And stand a much better chance when it comes to Inferno of closing out this series. They might be slowing it down in towards toilets. They've got Plopsky on 15 health, which isn't ideal. Molly out is good for Alu, but hold on. So are the shots he's hitting. As he takes 60 damage to the Molotov and falls back. It shouldn't play too much of a role with 18 seconds left. And Rez all by himself. He didn't win the 1v3, and the 1v5 was a little bit less likely. 18 for ENCE, match point, and they could take us all the way to map 3. Been a hell of a series, a juggernaut of athleticism for these players. 3 hours and 35 minutes they've been going for so far. And then they've got a little, well, 3 hours actually on the docks. We had a 30-minute live period beforehand. So 3 hours and 5 minutes actually. And then if we go to a third map, that's even more. I mean, these guys have got to be drained by this point.
Yeah, map 3, if it does go there, that's it's gonna put us probably past 6 o'clock our time easily. And we're meant to have the Heretics Complexity game at 5:30, I believe, so I'm not sure what'll happen there for us. But it's still possible, obviously. There's an opportunity here for NIP to maybe even extend this map even further, bring it into another overtime and keep themselves in with the chance of winning, like we did see back on Train, of course. This was not the first overtime of this series. And again, the damage favoring ENCE quite heavily early on. Anu even manages to catch the wall bang down onto Lekro as he goes down. And now NIP in the 4-on-5, all of them over towards the A side of the map. We're probably just going to see this commitment coming in, and for the moment there is a relatively decent setup. It's only the 2 players, but they do have the op on the bomb site itself. They have the 1 player pushed up on long where he should be finding contact just against Twist. So if he gets this kill, then the push is completely destroyed nearly. Oh, and that flash was perfect. Did he blind himself? It wasn't perfect, sorry, the exact opposite of perfect. Yeah, that was his flash. What the hell?
Alu through with one on knock, and he's looking to close it out. The nade, no, it's stolen away. But either way, that is the end of this series. Or of this map, excuse me, not the end of this series, as ENCE 19-17 bring us to map number 3. Dean, it's going to be a hell of a long one for these guys and for us, but we're heading to Inferno in just a little bit, so don't go anywhere. And if you're enjoying the casting, exclamation mark casters in chat to grab a link to our Twitters, we'd appreciate it. And of course, drop a follow on the channel if you want to catch more Counter-Strike action. Back in about 15 minutes